2021, I was hired by Afkar Architects to create art curated by SD Supply and Design for 3 walls in a set of villas on Jumeirah Bay Island in Dubai. This is the story of the inspiration, fabrication, and installation of wall number 1, otherwise known as water. The proposition was to create tactile dimensional art in a cool marine palette to span an area of 15 feet by 5 feet and to be inspired by the ocean, sunlight, waves, water, swirls, and bubbles, and to be installed in pieces directly onto the wall. I was provided a set of master bedroom elevation drawings, which included the dimensions and location of built-ins, walls, windows, etc., in addition to all the textile swatches to be used in the space. I then got to work creating a design concept, material recommendations, a working color palette, and mapped out a timeline. Once all was approved, the contract was signed, and the deposit received, the real work began. The fabrication process was based on the idea of mass-producing hundreds of plaster vessels or bowls that I would later fill with pools of resin. I started with 21 unique hand-formed clay bowls, which I used to cast 21 silicone molds. I then poured plaster into the silicone molds to make hundreds of plaster bowls. Then they went to my amazing team of helpers to be sanded smooth and painted. I laid the bowls out in the wall design I'd sketched, digitized, and had printed out at full scale, numbering each bowl on its back and at its corresponding spot on the paper template. Next, I came up with a palette of marine hues that would work with the collection of fabric and textile samples that I'd been provided. Once the color families were established, the bowls were filled with resin, a process that involved a series of steps of mixing, layering, dripping, swirling, and basically playing with alcohol ink, metallic dust, marine pigments, dyes, silicone oil, and liquid gold, with the goal to create deep pools that resembled water, sky, light, even little galaxies. It was a really fun and mesmerizing experimental process. Next leg, packing, creating customs documents, labeling, and shipping. Once the shipment made it through customs and was delivered to the properties, it was time for my assistant Sarah and I to head to the United Arab Emirates for installation. Arriving in Dubai was the ultimate provocation of the senses. The tuneless yet solemnly beautiful Muslim call to prayer crackled and moaned 5 times daily over the street speakers. The homophonic rhythms, exotic incense, silky weaves, burnished gold, and stalls of heavily guarded jars of heaping saffron texturized the aging maze of souks. The aromas were of musk, spice, scented oils, and sweet Denali flowers. The air was sultry, thick, and warm. The twinkling white lights pulsed up and down the sides of the sky-piercing Burj Khalifa like electric synchronized fairy dust, far above the endless cranes and desert dust of the city below. Welcome to Dubai. Once at the villa properties, we had to quickly acclimate to this very busy, bustling construction site. We toured all 5 floors of the property, meeting other artisans, interiors people, furniture designers, and became familiar with some of the other custom designed pieces in the house, from furniture to light fixtures to built-ins to wall sculptures. And then we found our master bedrooms and got to work. Once the boxes were unpacked, we got to work laying out the template, first on the floor and then on the wall, to make sure we had all of the right pieces in all of the right spots. We did this while several of the villa's construction team, which must have numbered well over 100 men, helped build us a scaffold. Finally, installation. It was a challenge creating objects to be installed on a wall halfway across the world we'd never met before. But armed with our markers, converters, extension cords, drill bits, drafting tape, heavy-duty adhesive, fans, ventilators, Spotify playlists, speakers, a well-worn path to Ace Hardware, and a can-do attitude, we worked for 2.5 days from sun up to sundown. Hot, dusty, exhausted, and with the first wall complete, we ramped up for the second wall installation in the second master bedroom. That story is told in my next video, called The Garden.